song.
Okay, so there's a story of a couple who lived in a small town and had two little boys, ages 8 and 10, who were exceedingly mischievous. The two were always getting into trouble, and their parents could be assured that if any mischief was going on in that town, that their two young sons were involved in some way. The parents were at their wits' end as to what to do about their son's behavior. The mother heard that a clergyman in town had been successful in disciplining children in the past, so she approached the minister about seeing her sons. The clergyman agreed to speak with the boys, but he wanted to see them one at a time. The 8-year-old went in to meet him first, and the clergyman sat the boy down and asked him sternly, "Where is God?" The boy made no response, so the clergyman repeated the question in a sterner tone, "Where is God?" Again, the boy made no attempt to answer. And so the clergyman raised his voice, "Where is God?" And at that, the boy bolted from the room, ran directly home, and slammed himself into a closet. His older brother followed him into the closet and said, "What happened?" And the younger brother replied, "We are in big trouble this time. God is missing, and they think we had something to do with it." It's wonderful, because we don't believe that. We know that God is not missing. We believe exactly the opposite. Am I right? We believe that God is within us. We believe that God, the source and consistency through all that is God the power in all that is, and God the creator as well as the creation of all that is very, very, very present within each and every one of us. In fact, we believe that the life within us is the life of God, and that life is truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness. We believe that this is what our teachings teach us. We believe that the mind within us is the mind of God, and it's the governing principle in all of our lives. And we believe that the power within us is the power of God and is our divine authority to create. Because that's what we are. We're creative beings. We create our life. Are you consciously creating the life that you want to live? We talked about that last week. And those are slightly modified words, because I'm getting all of this from Living the Science of Mind by Dr. Ernest Holmes. They are all nice words that I just said. Very nice words. They're wonderful words. So nice and lovely, but are we embodying them? Are we living them? Because we talk about this on Sundays, where you can come and hear inspiring words, and they sound really nice and beautiful and uplifting, but are we taking them into our lives? That's what it's about, living it, living it. We believe that the life inside of us, I want to say them again, the life inside of us, within us, is the life of God, and that life is truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness. We believe that the mind within us is the mind of God and is the governing principle of our lives. We believe that the power within us is the power of God, and this power is our divine authority to create. And we nod our heads and we say yes to those words. But that's not enough. It's not enough just to agree with them. We must actually use them, embody them. This is practical spirituality. So what does it mean to embody them? It means to fully and consciously integrate them into our consciousness. Now, last week, if you were here, our whole talk was on consciousness. We did a half hour on consciousness, what it really means. And so really quickly, that definition is the totality of our beingness that we bring to the table of our lives. And so that totality of beingness that we bring to the table of our lives then is 8 different qualities, actually, or different ways of being. So to embody something is to fully and completely integrate it into, and this is our consciousness, our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, our values, our attitudes, our words, our actions, and our reactions. How do we respond to life when life throws us that curveball? That's key. That's when you know if you got it or not. When you're able to maybe be taken aback, but then come full circle right back to knowing that there is a power within you, and that power will guide you, will protect you, will lead you further on in your life if we remember to use these spiritual principles that we talk about. Now go back to today's talk about embodying the words I said before. If we could fully and completely integrate them into the totality of our beingness, then that does become game changers for us. We change our way that we show up in life. And using these words give us a clear and direct roadmap for living a life of peace, of fulfillment, of happiness. And isn't that what we want? Don't we just want to be happy?
Yes.
Just live life in happiness. Truly, truly. So let's begin the embodying process. I don't want to just talk about it. I want us to all be part of it. So we're going to take the words of Ernest Holmes and make them very, very personal. So you're going to repeat this after me, because you know the words have a vibration, and that vibration is part of the universe, the one song, the one verse, the one tone of the universe, right? Universe, one tone, one song. So let's use our words. So repeat this after me. The life within me is the life of God.
The life within me is the life of God.
And this life, my life, is truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness.
It's truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness.
All right then, so that's good. Often we ignore this truth. We ignore it. Those words, we don't listen to them. We come here and we get all psyched up when we go, yeah, that's what I believe, and then we go out into life and it kind of like falls away. But I absolutely know that the people that come here every Sunday are taking away and are living these spiritual truths, because it's the way to consciously create life. And it's so much better when you consciously create what you really want to live, experience, and feel in life. And to honor the jewels that are within us. We all have unique gifts, each and every one of us. And we must learn to unlock them, to recognize them, not to block them. Because somebody might have told us that we don't have any gifts, we don't have any talents. Each and every person is here. And each and every person who is here, so I wouldn't see you, has within them beautiful, unique gifts and talents. So, let's begin unlocking some of them. We're going to do those words again with a lot of belief and power. The life within me is the life of God.
The life within me is the life of God.
And this life, my life, is truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness.
Is truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness.
And so it is.
And so it is.
True. Be with these words for a moment. Breathe them in. Let them sink in. What do they mean to you? What do those words even mean? They aren't just true about the person sitting next to you who you believe is so enlightened. That person knows it all. That's a really enlightened. It's true about you. It's true about each one of us. It's equally true. Equally true for each and every one of us. Who and what would you be if you embodied those words at a deep cellular level, at a deep heart level? Would you continue thinking ill about yourself? Would you put yourself down in any way anymore? Would you think that there is something inherently wrong or bad about you? A lot of us are carrying this around, that I'm not worthy enough. I'm not good enough. Would you still think you don't deserve a life of peace, happiness, and fulfillment? I don't think so. If you truly embody the words, the thoughts, those values, those spiritual concepts, that is the truth of our being. And the God self within us knows this. It knows it. That's why it resonates when it's being spoken. That's why it feels so in alignment when it is being spoken. So celebrate who you are, because you are the living God. You are the living God. Yes, you are. And you are truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness. So say this after me. I am truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness. Say it again.
I am truth, beauty, harmony, and wholeness.
I believe that, because that is the truth of who you are. We've established this now. And whose we are. We are sons and daughters of the divine. All of us, oneness. Let's go to the next statement then. And I shared this earlier, and we're going to begin embodying the next statement. Each of these concepts that I took from Living the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes' book, we're going to embody them. So repeat this one after me. The mind within me is the mind of God.
The mind within me is the mind of God.
And this mind, my mind, is the governing principle of my life.
Is the governing principle of my life.
Say that one again. The mind within me is the mind of God.
The mind within me is the mind of God.
And this mind, my mind, is the governing principle of my life.
Is the governing principle of my life.
And take a breath again to be with those words. Let them sink in. Embody these truths. And if you're not truly sure, you don't really believe what you just said, I have some words from Ernest Holmes in Living the Science of Mind that maybe will help clarify. Since this is from Ernest Holmes' book, Living the Science of Mind. Since the mind within you is the mind of God, and since the mind of God not only created everything that has ever existed, but will create everything that is ever going to be, you already have within you the ability to project new ideas, new thoughts, new inventions. Therefore, whatsoever ideas you desire, when you pray, when you listen to the inner mind, know that you are going to receive them. For you are dealing with that mind, which is the conceiver of all ideas. And when you call upon this mind for an answer to the problem, it at once knows the answer because there is no problem in it. In this way, the answer to every problem already is in the mind which you possess. There's one mind, that's God's mind, that's my mind now. We all are part of this infinite mind, but believe it. There are no problems in this infinite mind. And we come in and we have this human experience which has what appears as and feels like problems. But believe that you have solutions to every problem. When you come in, every problem comes in with a solution. So just remember that. Just be in that. If you really believe those words, you would be someone who trusted yourself. Do we trust ourselves? Talk about trusting others. Do we trust ourselves? You would be someone who knew that your dreams, hopes, and desires are readily available to you. It's not some distant, far-off place. You would be the person that no matter what issues you may be facing, there is a mind bigger than that. And I love this by Mary Morrissey, a teacher who we use in Prosperity Plus. She says, don't bring your big problems to God. Bring your big God to your problems.
Okay.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one. Don't bring your big problems to God. Bring your big God to your problems. I love it. It's all a shift in perception, and we can do that. We can do that. But really, In the mind, which is our mind, there are no problems. Everything is already a solution. Who would you be if you embodied that idea? How about starting to be that person today? Remember these things. There are no problems in the mind of the divine. I'm created out of this divinity. So therefore, that which feels and seems like a problem right here and right now, I'm going to be in the solution. State that. Claim that. Even if you're going through the chaos, I am in the solution. And now to embody our final thought. So you can say this after me. The power within me is the power of God.
The power within me is the power of God.
And this power, my divine authority, to create. And so Ernest Holmes tells us again, I like this reading very much. I love the book. Don't you love that book?
Yes.
If you don't have it, get it. He says this, to think is to create.
Yes.
This is the key which opens the doorway to wisdom and power. That doorway is already within you. If to think is to create, thoughts are things. And the law of things is a law of thought. Hear that? Change your thinking then. This will not be easy at first because old thought habits are prone to reassert themselves, to claim that they have a right to remain in your consciousness, to harass you and torment you. But now you are wise, and you know they have no such authority. You see them to be exactly what they are, false impressions claiming to be truth. Ooh, that's good. False impressions claiming to be true. And we live like that. He continues, they are traitors to your true self, false representations of your divinity, that divinity within you. They are a misuse of your freedom, of your law of freedom. But you will cast them out. You will say to them, I no longer accept you, be gone. And because they are only thoughts, remember that, they're only thoughts, they will evaporate. Love Ernest Holmes. Just love him. Anything he says, I love. In the glossary of his book, because there's a book with all the definitions of different words and concepts in the Science of Mind book, the devil is, this is the definition. This is the devil, okay, that we have maybe heard about. This is the definition. Any thought of duality, anything that would deny the oneness and allness of good, any idea which dilutes truth, the only devil we shall ever know will be that which appears as a result of our negative thinking. So, to our negative thoughts, those thoughts that will not create what we desire, when we're thinking about what we don't have, we cannot create what we want. We will create more of what we don't have. That's why Mary Marcy always says, come from the vision as if it already is present. So, to our negative thoughts then, the thoughts that will not create what we desire, we say, get thee behind me, Satan. Get thee behind me, negative thinking. Get thee behind me, that which obstructs and blocks my life of happiness and peace and joy. That's what we say to that Satan of negative thinking. After Jesus did this, his ministry really began. And the scripture, Luke chapter 4, verse 14 reads this way. And Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And there went out a fame of him through all the region round about. He was teaching new thought. He was teaching spiritual truth. He was teaching that the Father and I are one. He was not saying we're separate. He did not teach that. And like our master teacher Jesus, when we realize the power behind our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, when we really realize this power, Again, our attitudes, values, this is all our consciousness. So it starts with thoughts, feelings, beliefs, attitudes, values, words, and actions and reactions. So then our life will take off. When we expand our consciousness, our beingness, and truly believe and live in this whole stream, this flow of divine life. Yes, stuff in life takes place, but again, we hold that consciousness. We get to choose our reactions. We get to choose how we respond to life itself. We don't have to be victims, and I'm claiming that as truth. I'm claiming that as absolute truth. We start being a person of peace, of fulfillment, and happiness that we were really meant to be. And so, what a wonderful thing it is to realize and then to embody these truths that the life within me is the life of God. The mind within me is the mind of God. And the power within me is the creative power of God, and it is my divine authority to create the life I want to live. You get to choose that. You get to choose that. You are empowered. These teachings are meant to empower us, and that's what they do when we really take them into our heart and live them. And what a wonderful thing that is. And so because we've been using the words of Ernest Holmes this morning to make them personal, I want to do it one more time. So I want to close this talk with a prayer by Ernest Holmes, made personal, using the I word, which he doesn't use, except for in his chapter on eternality. So this is from Living the Science of Mind. If you want to take a breath, I'm going to make it personal for each of us. Whatever I believe to be true about God, I declare to be the truth. I could declare it to be the truth about myself. The power within me, which is God, is the law of good, establishing right action in my life. In this manner, I gain dominion and exercise authority. To think is to create. This is the key which opens the doorway to wisdom and power. That doorway is already within me. Somewhere within me, the mind of God reveals the truth that I was born free, and that the will of God for me is one of goodness, truth, and beauty. That all the power there is for me. And all the will there is in my life. I am the image and likeness of this life. I am a personification of it. I am the personality of God. The kingdom of heaven is already within me. And the law of the kingdom is harmony, peace, and joy. That is the law. That is the truth. That is my truth. That is your truth. We get to choose. We get to choose. And so let's choose to live a life with happiness and peace and well-being in it. We have that power. Believe it. It is true. And so it is.